I didn't know how I would start this video today, but I figured I would talk about nostalgia and how we are going through so much nostalgia so soon for things that have just happened. Which I believe that's a product of many things, but essentially it's a product of the times. Not to sound too much of a... I'm not trying to sound too quippy or. But I believe this nostalgia is a product of the times. What do I mean by that? I mean, we are having nostalgia for moments that have just happened, moments that have just passed. We are thinking about things that happened months or maybe just a year or so ago. People have nostalgia for the past. That usually tends to be decades or so, or however long ago. I think things really started with the 80s, maybe with our parents becoming nostalgic of the 50s and 60s. But I believe that as we begin to become more nostalgic for things that have just had happened, that could either be evidence of we are not enjoying the current time as much as we should be, and we're using a third-person perspective to distance ourselves from things and separate, and then go, oh, wow, yeah, no, that was actually nice, which can be a problem for society when you're not learning to live and enjoy the moment. You have to learn to look back on things. But I mean, in the age of recording, that's all we really have, is we have so much evidence of stuff that's happened that we can't help but look back instantly and be like, yeah, the things that happened a few months ago are actually pretty great, We're really looking back on those. To have nostalgia so soon is either evidence of the technology at hand, or maybe a combination of the technology with not being happy in the moment. Either way, it's an interesting phenomenon that's happening, how we're reclaiming things that have just... especially, I will pinpoint onto the technological aspect of things, which is we are so involved with ourselves that we have evidence of everything that's happened. We have constantly We have constantly recorded... I gotta get a tripod, I keep dropping things. I do that almost in every video. Anyhow, we are constantly recording and constantly keeping track of ourselves in a way that's so new and so different that other times haven't had the chance to go ahead and look back on things like this. It's been a kind of different moment in our period, at least, to have such evidence of things that have just happened. So we're kind of getting used to that. We're kind of getting used to the newness of this, and what that might have an effect on, how that may have an effect on ourselves. So we may not be enjoying things either. Maybe that's why we're getting so nostalgic towards stuff. I feel like I'm rambling, To pinpoint to the title, yes, 2016 was a wonderful year, especially if you were 18 in that year, Definitely a year that I can understand people touching back onto. But yeah, hopefully we can start living more in the moment, start enjoying things more, so that way we don't have to look back so much on stuff, as nice as that may be. Because I don't know if it's, like I've been saying, the newness of the products that we have on our hands, to have a phone and at everybody's dispense, to use at any time, to document anything we can. I don't know if it's a product of that or a product of just not being happy with stuff. Regardless, let's not find out. At least, let's find out, but hopefully it's, for the better that we're having so much nostalgia. I felt like this is a bit of a ramble, just some thoughts on my mind. If this was a little confusing, I understand, But yeah, just wanted to talk. Have a great day.